Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth. We are following along Victor Frankenstein's story, and we have been taken prisoner by Aleister while Victor is supposed to go and find the Sectarian. So I'm guessing the story's gonna head towards Victor now, because I can't really see them doing much with Cardia hanging out with Aleister. So, alright, I'm gonna get started here. You sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. His lips are trembling just a bit. He was trying to make up for his past. He was trying to destroy the Sectarian. But now, he needs to turn the very thing he was trying to eradicate into a weapon with his own hands. Because of me, I might as well. I throw myself forward, trying to pierce my own throat with the knife. But the Twilight Soldier acts quickly, and all I'm able to do is slightly melt the blade.
My, you're a handful, aren't you, young lady?
Aleister sighs, but Victor pays him no mind, and turns back to me with a serious look.
Don't give up, Cardia. I haven't yet. I promise, I will come back for you.
With this, Victor runs off without so much as looking back. All I can do is simply watch him getting further away. "5 hours remaining. "1 hour has already passed. There's so little time. He has 3 hours to find and bring back the Sectarian. 3 hours. Not enough time to think of a strategy, but still too soon to give up.
I need to hurry.
He wipes sweat off his forehead and continues to run. It all comes down to the fact that he needs Sectarian to save Cardia. Victor doesn't think that getting a hold of the Sectarian will guarantee them any form of safety. But if he doesn't bring it back, Cardia will definitely be killed. Then he'll focus on saving Cardia for now. He'll think about the rest later. That's the conclusion he arrives at. It's not much of a plan, but he can't think of anything better.
Damn it, I'm so pathetic.
As he runs, a conflict swirls in his mind like a storm. Just as she said, there's only one reason Aleister would want the Sectarian for: to use it as a weapon. Whatever his plan for the Sectarian is, the result is clear. The nightmare of 2 years ago is just going to be repeated. That's what needs to be avoided at all costs. Above all else, it needs to be stopped no matter what the sacrifice. There is only one effective means to go about this.
I have to find the Sectarian and destroy it wherever it is.
It should be easy. Many lives will be spared as a result. Only a short while ago, he would have been able to do this without hesitation.
But
Victor puts a hand on his chest as he runs. Cardia's smile, her angry and sad expressions. His head is overflowing with memories of her. All he wants to do is save her. Save her no matter what. She didn't run away from him, even after hearing everything. When she said she loved him, all he wanted to do was embrace her, right then and there.
I have to destroy the Sectarian and save her as well.
The logical part of his mind is screaming that it's impossible, but all he can do now is push the voices aside and run. He finally arrives at the meeting spot.
You made it.
He looks up and finds that Van Helsing has appeared.
Van Helsing, where's everyone else? Impy was concerned about the explosion and went looking for you two. Lupin and the Count have gone ahead to where the Sectarian is being stored. There's not much time left, so we're all acting separately. You located it? Yes, we went to the place where we discussed before. The researcher himself was dead, but we found a note. He'd written down the whereabouts of the Sectarian. It was all a little too easy, but all we can do now is thank our luck. I see.
He breathes a sigh of relief. There's no telling what would have happened to Cardia if they hadn't found the location of the Sectarian. Van Helsing narrows his eyes.
And where is she? Wasn't it your job to look into ways to treat her? Why are you alone?
Van Helsing doesn't mince words. Victor hesitates. If he isn't careful and says something to cause Van Helsing to catch on, Cardia's life will be in danger. The best thing would be to tell him everything, including what has happened to Cardia. In that case...
We actually figured out how to treat her. What? That's good news. The poison in Sectarium has the effect of stopping the Horologium's transformation.
As Victor speaks, he quietly taps the back of his hand with his finger. He's using Morse code.
But it's transforming faster than we thought. She needs to be treated within the next 3 hours.
As he says this, he quietly spells out the situation.
Yeah, but he's being watched, so couldn't the Twilight people notice that he's using Morse code?
His greatest concern is that the men watching him will catch on.
Okay, so he had thought of that.
But fortunately, they haven't noticed yet.
Cardia, taken hostage. Being watched now. They hear everything.
Van Helsing's eyes narrow slightly. He's probably realized what's going on. Victor had hoped that Van Helsing, being a former member of Twilight, would recognize Morse code and be able to understand him. It seems he was right.
I see. So we can save her if we get the Sectarium. Need to give them the Sectarium in 3 hours or she dies. Exactly. Where is it? Van Helsing, please tell me. It's very important. Being threatened to tell location. It's underground, near Buckingham Palace. Hurry, we don't have much time. You're right.
Victor starts to run, following Van Helsing. He hasn't come to a conclusion about what needs to be done. But for right now, he focuses on running as fast as he can to where the Sectarium has been hidden. "4 hours remaining. I can see the stars shining through the window. I've been restrained by a thick rope tying me to a wooden chair and am unable to move. They've tied me up, gloves and all, so I'm not able to use my poison to melt my way out like I did at the palace. It feels like it has been a long time since I was brought here. I don't know what the exact time is. I wonder how Victor is doing. I hear a knock at the door.
Excuse me, may I come in?
Don't bother acting politely when you have tied me up like this.
I'll take that as a yes. How are you feeling? Feel free to call on me anytime you want if you start to feel unwell. If your condition changes, life will no longer be able to exist within London. Ah, yes. Would you care for some music? It's something of a hobby of mine. I have the latest phonograph in this room. Personally, I think the phonograph was Isaac's greatest invention. It's like a portable orchestra. It's really made the beauty of music more accessible. I like everything from nursery rhymes to classical music. I do enjoy flashy things from time to time. There are a few intense songs that I enjoy as well.
What did you come here for?
Ah, that's right. I tend to go off on tangents when discussing my interests. It would appear that Dr. Frankenstein has figured out where the Sectarium is.
So they found it.
Aren't you happy? This means you're saved. Let's talk about something else then. I've sent some Twilight agents to the Sectarium's location.
I look up in surprise. The moonlight shines on Aleister's elegant features. Why? Weren't you going to have Victor bring it to you?
Even if Dr. Frankenstein does comply with our commands, it doesn't mean his friends will.
What are you saying? I throw myself at him without thinking, forgetting that I've been tied up, and my chair falls over.
Did that hurt? I'm just saying that one can never be too careful.
Aleister carefully rights the chair, along with me. I won't let you kill everyone.
Oh, very interesting. You're supposed to be a soulless doll, yet your eyes are full of anger. Is the anger within you right now real, or are you just pretending to be angry? I suppose it really doesn't matter to me.
Aleister glances at his pocket watch and checks the time.
There isn't much time left, but shall we have some tea and snacks? If you don't mind, I could join you in your last supper.
With this, Aleister leaves the room. I'm alone again. The room is quiet, and I can't hear anything from outside. Is Twilight... Are they still guarding this room? My condition is gradually worsening. At this rate, I may not be able to move around for long. To win, we have to search for a way out, but I want to see what happens if we wait. It'll be a game ending, but I want to see what our game ending is. Are we going to turn into a monster? Wait here and see how things go. I'm not feeling well. I don't want to try anything and end up making things worse for myself. Surely Victor will come for me. I steady my breathing and push away my doubts and anxiety. I begin to feel dizzy. My headache worsens, and the horologium embedded in my chest gradually gets hotter and hotter. Nobody comes back. Not Victor, not even Aleister. I wonder how much time has passed. At this rate, this isn't good. I start to think that I should be looking for an escape, but I may have already missed the opportunity. That splitting headache and the nausea, both of those things, along with the horologium's heat, makes it impossible to think straight. I twist my body in pain. I fall to the floor, chair and all. My entire body is hot. I feel almost like I'm changing somehow, with the horologium at the center of it. I can't even scream because of the immense pain and heat. Something like steam is beginning to rise from my entire body. Ah, I see. This isn't just a feeling. It's really happening. My body is changing into a true monster. Run, everyone. Victor, run. That's all I wish for, as my consciousness slips into a deep blackness. Oh, I wish we could see it. I wonder if I'll get to see it during the bad ending. No, they'll never show us, will they? And we'll go back and do the correct option, which is search for a way out. I'm going to find a way out of here. As long as I'm held captive, Victor and the others will be forced to tread cautiously. Even if Twilight attacks them, they may not risk putting up any resistance. I have to get out of here somehow, and let everyone know that I'm alright. My gloves have been tightly secured to my arms, and it doesn't seem I can get either of them off. Still, that doesn't rule out any chances I have of escaping. There's something Aleister doesn't know. I've been trained by the others, each of them masters of their particular crafts. I've been continuing to train to maintain these skills. If Victor isn't giving up, I can't give up either. It's times like these that I really have to calmly observe the situation. First, there are no signs of people nearby. Is there anything I can use in this room? There. There is a gear meant for use in some kind of steam engine, up against the wall. It looks very sharp. I can use that. I struggle to drag the chair close to it, still tied to it, and manage to raise my body enough to press my wrist to the gear. I don't expect to cut the rope with this. I intend to scratch my wrist with it, and melt the rope using the poison in my blood. I endure the slight pain, and feel some blood trickling down my skin. Now all I do is wait for the poison to melt through the rope. But That's strange. The rope isn't melting. Usually my poison would melt something like this rope without any issues. Is the poison weakening? Or perhaps the rope's been treated? This might be a precursor to the horologium's transformation. With this option for escape taken away from me, I panic for a moment, but if I can't use the poison, I'll escape from this rope using techniques Lupin taught me. I move my hand and start shifting the rope little by little, taking my time slowly. I focus on getting free, but in the back of my mind, I can't stop thinking about Victor. "3 hours remaining. I continue to work diligently at the rope. My condition starts to worsen, and I feel dizziness and a headache as the heat from the horologium intensifies in my chest. I might not make it, just as my determination starts to waver. My right hand is freed. I did it. With one hand free, the rest is easy. I quickly untie the rope and stand up. I hurriedly check the time and see that there is a little under 3 hours left. In 3 hours, I check the watch again to make sure. I need to take action right away to get myself out of here. I look out the window. It looks like I'm on the 2nd floor. Judging from the skyline, this must be somewhere in Midtown. After trying several times to open the window with no avail, I push the heavy furniture in front of the door to block it. This should buy me some time. I lift up a nearby candlestick, and the window shatters noisily. I hear footsteps approaching from the other side of the door, but I ignore it. I will my unsteady body to move forward and jump out the window. The moment I hit the ground, I brace myself to soften the impact. It worked. Now I just need to run. Then, when I raise my head, I see a lone Twilight soldier standing there. It looks like he didn't expect someone to come flying down out of the sky. I sense him drawing a sharp breath in astonishment, even through his eerie mask. He rushes to strike me with his sword, which I dodge. I don't miss the opportunity to throw myself at him with all my might. Once he's off balance, I grab hold of his neck and slam him against the wall with all the strength I can muster. My breath is heavy and uneven as I look down at the fallen soldier. I got lucky catching him off guard, and I'm so glad my body was able to react quickly. Before I start running again, I have an idea. I take the dagger that the soldier has on him and hurry away. If the time limit passes before I can get help, I'll use this too. I run as fast as I can. I can already feel the presence of several men behind me. Saint Germain taught me the ins and outs of London's geography. I'll get away from them, somehow. Right as I'm about to pick up speed, Twilight soldiers appear from an alley. There are 2 of them. This time, they both look completely alert. I don't stand a chance against them. They draw their swords without a word, and in a panic, I turn around to go back the way I came. That's when I realize that path is already blocked as well. I grip the dagger I had stolen, just in case I might need to use it.
Out of my way! Mr. Impy coming through!
I hear Impy shouting. Then, from behind the Twilight soldiers blocking my way, the ornithopter charges in, forcing its way through the narrow alley, breaking off portions of the surrounding buildings. Impy! The Twilight soldiers are surprised. They jump aside as the ornithopter charges straight towards them. Then it comes straight for me as I stand there dumbfounded. As the ornithopter flies low, almost touching my head, Impy pops out and extends his arm to me.
Grab my hand!
I immediately grab him, and he pulls me into the aircraft. The next moment, the ornithopter begins ascending rapidly.
Alright, I had to pull some aerial acrobatics there, but it was a success.
Impy, thank you. I couldn't have gotten past them on my own.
Don't worry about it. It's the prince's job to come to the princess's rescue on a white horse, right? Well, in my case, it's a genius engineer riding on a steel bird. I'm glad you're alright. It's a good thing I happened to find you, but where's Victor?
He went to find the Sectarian to save me. I quickly give Impy a quick rundown of everything that has happened.
I see. Seems like Victor has a pretty heroic role in all of this. We know where the Sectarian is. If the others are meeting there, he's probably headed that way too.
Impy, can we head there too? Victor still thinks I'm being held hostage.
Okie dokie. Leave it to me, Mr. Impy. Let's embark on a night flight, shall we? This is going to be a rough trip. Hold on tight.
With these words, the ornithopter picks up speed. Hold on, Victor. I'll be there soon. Victor can't help but draw a breath in surprise when he first arrives. Immensely high ceilings are supported by a countless number of thick pillars that stretch towards the roof. This huge space has no decorations at all and has an almost mythical feel about it. So this is the place. This facility was supposedly created to store Sectarian.
Who would have thought there would be a space like this directly beneath London? We don't have time to stand around admiring the view. Let's find Lupin and the others. Yeah, you're right.
As he walks along with Van Helsing, Victor checks his pocket watch. He had set his own watch to match the time on Cardia's. It's true, there isn't much time left. 3 hours remain until the horologium transforms, and only 1 hour remains until the time Aleister said he would kill her.
We need to hurry.
As he whispers this, 2 familiar faces appear before him.
Hey, good to see you. Did you find the Sectarian? No, not yet. We've looked everywhere, but I can't figure out how to get past those huge doors, so we can't move forward.
Lupin points to a ridiculously large set of doors in the center of the rear wall. If the Sectarian isn't here in the large space, then could it be behind the doors?
There has to be some way to get them open. I've tried everything, but they won't so much as budge. Oh, Victor, isn't Our Lady with you? About that.
Victor glances over at Van Helsing. While Victor gives the fake explanation, Van Helsing uses Morse code to communicate the truth to the others. Yeah, it really wouldn't surprise me at all if all of them knew Morse code. I'd be surprised if any of them didn't, actually.
I see. So that's the key to treating our poison. All the more reason why we need to get a hold of it.
Suddenly, Lupin raises an arm, signaling to everyone. In response, Van Helsing and Saint Germain begin looking around them.
Guys, what is it? It looks like Twilight has decided that our job here is done. They either followed us or came in ahead. Either way, it's not just a couple of them we're dealing with here. What? How could that be? Victor, behind you.
Before a soldier's sword can pierce Victor, Saint Germain grabs him and leaps backward. Even while the Count is saving him, Victor takes a test tube from his coat and immediately lobs it at the enemy soldiers.
You!
A flash of light floods the space around them, and smoke fills the area in a matter of seconds.
Whoa, a nice one, Victor. I like what you've got there.
Taking care not to inhale the smoke, they take cover behind some pillars. Van Helsing stands beside Victor, ready to fight.
Victor, it looks like they don't intend on keeping their end of the bargain. What do you want to do?
Van Helsing is right. If Twilight is going to attack them directly, there is no need for Victor to hold to his promise or hold back on them. But still,
we need to avoid antagonizing them if we can help it. They've got her. Whoa, whoa, whoa! We've got a party approaching. We don't stand a chance if we don't fight back.
Lupin shouts over to them from where he hides behind an adjacent pillar.
I know, but... Aleister, what is he thinking? Doing something like this?
They put up a minimum of resistance to hold the soldiers back, while Victor tries desperately to think. How can they get the upper hand here? Victor looks at the transmitter he had clipped to his clothing. It looks like they turned off the transmission, judging that he is no longer of any use to them. Aleister was using this device to keep tabs on him and where he was. That's when he has an idea.
Van Helsing, I'd like to ask you something about Twilight's chain of command. Their chain of command, what about it? What happens if something unexpected occurs without a commanding officer present? Are soldiers in the field allowed to act as they see fit? Is that really relevant right now?
Van Helsing doesn't look at Victor as he responds, instead squinting into the half-darkness as he fires at Twilight soldiers.
Yes, it's very important. Twilight isn't monolithic, but at least if this is a unit under Aleister's command, they wouldn't act on their own. Even if he's not here in person, he's probably able to show some flexibility as the soldiers relay information to him. I see. In that case,
he has all the information he needs.
Van Helsing, cover me for a minute.
With just this, he jumps out from behind the pillar, without even waiting for a response.
Aleister, I want to negotiate.
The soldiers all charge for him at once, but Van Helsing is able to shoot them down as they come. Taking advantage of this, Victor continues speaking in a voice that rings clear in the dark and empty hall.
We hold the trump card. You can't get your hands on the Sectarian without it.
The moment Victor shouts this, the Twilight soldiers stop approaching. They most likely receive their orders to cease their attacks from their own communication devices. So far, so good.
You may have thought us useless, but that's a big mistake. The Sectarian is at the end of this hall. Lupin was able to find the hidden passage leading to the back. That's because this place has a trick to it that only those involved in the research would know about.
By now, everyone in the room is paying full attention to Victor. In the dead silence, and with many eyes on him, Victor continues.
A little over 2 hours remaining until the Horologium's transformation is complete. Once that time runs out, London will turn into a city of death. Even if you kill all of us here, you won't be able to decipher the trick to this room, and you'll never get to the Sectarium. Cardia, she would probably rather sacrifice herself than let one of her friends die because of her. I feel the same way. If the life of one of my friends is endangered, I'm prepared to die here and now. And if that happens, Aleister, then neither she nor the Sectarian will be yours. I don't think you understand, Dr. Frankenstein.
Aleister's voice echoes in the hall. The volume on the soldiers' communicators has likely been turned up.
Your doll is in my hands. I'm the one who's in control here. Even if that's the case, it's impossible to open the path without my cooperation. And even if one of my friends dies, I won't cooperate with you. I'll fight back with everything I have. I'll never talk, even if you capture me. So, what are you going to do? You don't have time for a leisurely torture session. Or shall we all die together here in London?
Of course, Victor has absolutely no intention of abandoning her. However, if he allows Aleister to have his way, his friends will die, and he won't be able to save Cardia. That's why Victor decided to take this risk. Of course, he doesn't know how to open the door, or even if there is a trick to it. He is merely using the fact that a mind of Lupin's caliber has yet to find a way to break in, as a way of threatening Aleister. If Aleister doesn't comply with Victor's threat now, the fighting will most likely resume. They won't be able to stop the Horologium's transformation, and they, along with the entirety of London, will be destroyed.
Aleister, answer me now! Fine, let's hear what you had to say.
Victor tries to hide his delight and exhale slowly to even his breathing.
You'll need to accept my conditions if you want that path to the end of the hall open. Aleister, bring her here. Once we've seen that she's safe, we'll open the doors. That's not possible. You have to open the doors first. No, you bring her here. We won't have time to save her any other way. We don't have time. What's your answer? I have no choice. Let's do this then. She's no longer of any use to us. We'll dispose of her here on our end. What? Dr. Frankenstein, once we've killed all of you, I will head over there at my own leisure. You've given up on the Horologium? I'm a very cautious man. I have a policy against taking risky bets, although it seems that you enjoy gambling, unlike me.
The Twilight Soldiers begin to close in once again.
So much for talking our way out. I guess we have only one option. Hurry up and beat these guys so we can get a hold of the Sectarian. We'll have to renegotiate with him after that.
With Lupin's shout, it looks like the battle is about to reignite when... Victor! A voice cuts through the space. A voice he feels like he hasn't heard in a long time. Everyone turns around. Aw, they look like they're standing there as a couple, which brings back memories to the first playthrough. Aw, don't they look cute together? They see her up ahead, so close to where they stand, walking with Impy's aid.
Cardia!
He shouts in surprise and runs to her side.
How did you get here? Did you escape?
Yes, I was cutting it pretty close.
Well, well. So that's where the little rabbit ran off to. That was certainly unexpected.
Aleister, I won't let you get away with this. Aw, everybody looks so cool like this. Everybody in their battle-ready positions. Except for Victor. I wish he was in that picture. But that would be pretty crowded.
Huh, if you're no longer a hostage, that makes things simple. There's no need to hold back anymore. Aleister, I don't know what you're thinking, but if you plan to get in our way, I won't show your men any mercy. It's been a while since we've all been together like this, huh? Can't really enjoy the moment with all these enemies around. Everyone, it's fine to be in high spirits, but just make sure not to get hurt. Do you understand?
With the rest of the group gathered behind him, Victor speaks with confidence.
You've lost, Aleister. I lost? I see. We still hold an overwhelming advantage in numbers. You never cease to entertain me. Fine, go ahead.
The Twilight Soldiers and Victor's group square off against each other. Victor holds Cardia in a tight embrace and puts his feelings into words.
Now that you're by my side, I'm not afraid of anything. You give me and all of us strength. I'm so glad you're safe.
He smiles broadly, and Cardia's cheeks redden slightly. Then, just as it seems the intense fighting is about to resume, Aleister steps away from his communication device, listening intently to the sound coming from the speaker of his phonograph.
I lost. Well, how interesting.
As he smiles to himself, there is a loud knock at the door.
We have a situation, Mr. Aleister. It's open.
The Twilight Soldier begins to speak hurriedly the moment he enters.
The mansion has been surrounded. We appear to be facing forces from the military.
Aleister furrows his brow.
Oh, they already tracked me down. The Queen is smarter than I give her credit for. But, the This is a very interesting turn of events in its own right. I suppose it's time I took some exercise anyway.
Mr. Aleister? The sound of fighting can be heard from downstairs. Aleister smiles and stands, drawing his sword.
What can I do? I suppose today marks the end of twilight.
What are you? Aleister's sword runs the man through before he can finish his question. Why did he do that? Isn't that a waste of an ally?
Alice... I seem to be a bit rusty, but I suppose I can still put up a fight.
With the soldier's blood spattered on his clothing, Aleister smiles, satisfied. It might be best for him to retreat from the front of the stage for the time being.
Now, I wonder how much damage I can do against the Queen's veteran troops.
He leaves the room, still covered in blood, but in good spirits, even humming a song to himself. In mere moments, he kills a number of soldiers and breaks through the blockade, and vanishes from the center stage of history. Well, I guess that means we don't have to worry about him anymore, according to that last line at least. 1 hour remaining. Oh! And with that 1 hour remaining, we're going to break this video here and cover, well, hopefully that last hour I'll be able to take care of in the next video. If not, it'll be 2 videos. I don't know. You can never tell with these things. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in my future videos. I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. And I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.